Hey everyone, Joe here. I'm been home a little bored since I haven't been able to work until I get this whole hip situation worked out. So I decided to start a hobby, and that hobby is making clear ice. Figured I was not able to do much, so figure I'd do something fun. And since I enjoy making cocktails, clear ice would be something fun to do. So what you're gonna need is a cooler like this one. You can get this one. This one's about 5 quarts, and I got it on Amazon for about 15 bucks. You're also gonna need a bread knife, something serrated. Now I bought one for myself just for this because I didn't want to use the kitchen serrated knife because I didn't want to ruin it because you're going to be using it to cut ice. And I bought one of these. This is an ice chipper. It's got a beautiful handle. This one was also about 15 bucks. And that's basically what we're going to use. Now, why do you want clear ice? Well, if you're crazy about cocktails, if you really enjoy making a nice cocktail, you know that part of it is presentation. You want it to look beautiful. And I gotta say, a clear ice cube makes it look real nice. And so that's why you want clear ice. Others say that also clear ice affects the taste of your cocktail less. That might be true because when you use regular ice cubes, you're going to see a lot of cloudiness in there. That's a lot of impurities. Now you're never going to get all the impurities out of your ice, but the less impurities the better, and that may affect the taste. Now, some people say that clear ice melts slower than regular ice and cloudy ice, and that's not necessarily true. I've seen demonstrations where where people have taken cloudy ice and clear ice that are the same size and the same weight. They put it in glass and they pour spirits in there and waited, and they melted about the same rate. Yes, the clear ice melts slower, but the difference isn't by much. So what you really, really want is the size of your ice cube. You want a big ice cube. You want big ice because big ice melts slower. Now you also want ice that has less surface area around it, so ice spheres, those work much better, but that's another video, I guess. I'm not going to be making those right now. I'm going to be making something somewhat similar, but not that right today. Okay, so what you're going to need is, like I said, one of these coolers, and we're going to do something called directional freezing. Now, what directional freezing is freezing water from one direction only. Now, when you get ice cubes from your freezer, what you're going to see is that they're really cloudy. The reason that happens is because there's impurities in there, like I said before, but the ice freezes from all directions. So it pushes those impurities towards the middle. Those impurities have nowhere to escape, so it gets trapped inside. What this does is it freezes the water from one direction from the top down. Because the cooler is insulated, it doesn't melt from the sides or the bottom, it just melts from the top down. It pushes those impurities to the bottom. So now we're going to have all the impurities going to be at the bottom, and none of them is going to be on the top, and so the top is going to be clear. Now what you're going to want to do that is get one of these coolers and fill it to about an inch from the top. You don't want to fill it all the way to the top because as the water freezes, it expands and you don't want it spilling all over your freezer. So inch from the top, I've already done that. I filled this up with filtered water just to get as much impurities out of there as possible. And that's what I have here. You want to freeze it for about 24 hours. That's about how long it takes to get it right. It could be a little more, a little less, depending on your freezer, but that's what I've done here. So that's what I got. I'm going to take this over to the sink. So let's get over there and get it out of here. Okay, there you go. I got it out of the tray, and here you have clear ice. You can see there. What you saw there was the bottom was still not frozen, and that's fine because all those impurities got pushed into the fluid, and so when I broke it up, I just got rid of all the impurities. Now, all those little shards of ice that are left over, you could toss them, or you could put them in your freezer in a little Ziploc bag. Those are great for shaken drinks, so that's what you can use for that. But now we have this big hunk of clear ice, and now you got to figure out what you're going to do with it, and that's where these tools come in. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make cuts in your ice, and then use this poker to free it. That's the easiest way to do it. Let's get started here. Oh, and you're also going to want to use a hand towel to hold it because it is ice, and we're talking about sharp things, so you don't want it slipping and cutting you. So let's be careful there. Okay, now there you go. Now I know what you're thinking. These don't look like much. They look kind of weird shaped. And that's okay because you can shape them if you take an aluminum sheet of metal or like an iron that you use to, I'll explain this in a sec. If you use an iron that you iron your clothes with and you rub the ice against it, you can actually smooth out the ends, the sides, and make it more cube-like if that's what you want. Making spheres is also a possibility, although it's very, very difficult to make them that shape. But with these, you can actually make another cool shape that works just as good, and I think it looks pretty cool. So let's take like this one here. Let me get a glass and some whiskey to show you what I mean. Okay, now let's take one of these, either a smaller one. It doesn't fit very well, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take my towel here to hold it. And I'm going to cut it and there you have it. Now, again, this is rather clear and it looks cool. I think this looks pretty cool because it looks kind of like a stone, like a rock, and it's clear. So there you go. And yeah. Pour your whiskey on top. And there you have it. Nice cocktail with clear ice. That's whiskey on the rocks. If you want to do a cocktail that looks just as beautiful, like I said, something this big might not be, you might enjoy and make different shapes out of it with your little pick or with a knife or something. But now that you got clear ice, and it's huge, so it's going to melt much slower. Now, There are other ways of making clear ice. You can actually buy stuff that makes clear ice, but those range from $30 to a couple of $100. The cheaper ones are actually just what we did now. They're basically coolers where you can actually put molds inside of them, and they freeze from the top down. And now when you pull it out, they come with the silicone ice trays, so you just pull them out and get them out, and now you have your ice cubes. They're perfectly cubed ice cubes, and they're clear. If you want to spend the money to do that, then you could, but those only make about 4 on the cheaper end. And then there's machines that actually make ice cubes, and those run you several $100s, but those take about 12 hours to make, so you could do that. And then there's the sphere makers. You can actually get a machine, a little device. It actually has a base and a top with little metal prongs on the side, where you can take one of these cubes and put it inside of it, and then put the top on, and it slowly comes down, and it melts the ice into a sphere, and it's a perfect sphere. It's beautiful. It looks gorgeous, but that runs you about $300. So you're basically going to have to make these and put them in that $300 machine for you to just get a sphere. And you could do that, but like I said, this. Let me try to pull this out here. This is a cool looking stone. It looks like a rock, like you've pulled out of the ground, and it's clear. It's just gorgeous. So there you go. What you're going to want to do with these, now put them in a plastic Ziploc bag. Toss these in your freezer. And you're all set. You can shape them when you want, and put them in your freezer, and they're going to be good. Now you don't want them to be left open, because again, whatever's running around in your freezer will get into them. You don't want that. You're going to want to just keep them in the Ziploc bag, and whenever you have company over, or whenever you want to make yourself a cocktail with this nice ice, you just pull one of these out. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Now, next time, with my stuttery, stammering mess, I'm going to teach you how to make a cocktail. 2 ways of making an old-fashioned. That's my favorite cocktail. It's become Katie's favorite cocktail. So I'm going to teach you how to make those and use one of these in it. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. I know that was kind of a mess, but I got no one to talk to, and that's what happens when that happens. So, there you go. But